Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Lost with Friends. As always, I'm your host, Paul, and joining me is one of my favorite guests to talk to about anything and everything, but this time it's Lost. Go ahead and reintroduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Megan.
Megan, one of the favorites here on the Clock Shelves YouTube channel.
I'm pretty sure every time you say that, someone cringes. Like, I really don't like her. That's what they say to themselves.
Well, that's not my problem, because I enjoy talking with you. It's my YouTube channel, and they could go elsewhere. Please don't go elsewhere. I need your views.
I'm so confused by the message you're giving now. Wait, what do I do? Okay, I'll stay.
I gotta please the people. I'll talk down to them when I'm talking to you, but if I'm talking with them, I'll be like, that Megan girl, I won't ever have her back. And then I'll be messaging you later going, please come back on the show.
Come back.
I'll tell them you forced me.
Awesome.
But no, this episode, we're going to be discussing the episode Numbers. And I reached out, before I even started this series, I reached out to a few people kind of on the down low through Facebook and, texts and things like that. Some of my closer Lost friends, people I talk with on an almost daily or weekly basis. And I messaged a few of them and I said, thinking about doing this series. Would anybody out there be interested and whatever? And a few people responded, yeah, that'd be great. And, some of the people that responded, like yourself, Mike, Jake, so on, I asked them, I said, is there any episode in particular that you would want to do? And since Mike was the very first to respond, of course, I asked him if he would want to do the pilot. You were one of the very first to respond, and I asked you. And of course, I'm thinking people will respond with, pilot, walkabout, white rabbit, things like that. And you immediately respond, Numbers. Which I'm like, okay, that's like more than halfway through the season. I just want to get like a few episodes in, which is why I asked you about being on the Tabula Rasa episode. But you specifically, almost yell. I know you. The text was a yell. It was Numbers.
I tend to yell, yes.
Yes. What was the reason behind wanting this episode?
Well, contrary to what I've said before, Hurley is probably my favorite. Even though I love Sawyer very muchly, Hurley is probably my favorite. So there's that. And then, like every other Lostie ever, I look for the numbers in everything and often find them. So,
as has become a theme on this show.
Yeah, even now. So my biggest thing with this episode was that the numbers to me, and this is a spoiler, so for anybody that hasn't heard up to now, we are doing spoilers. We're spoiling. Yes. We're spoiling it. The numbers are everything. Everything. So
you got like very deep there for a moment.
Yeah,
they are everything.
They are. Well, our Lost 2014 flight number was 815 into Los Angeles.
Oh, that's scary.
Yeah, and it took off at 8:15, and I think our seat row was one of the numbers, but I can't remember what number. And then we got to the airport in Los Angeles and ate at a burger place. I can't remember which one. Don't ask me. And don't ask me. We ate at a burger place and our table number was 23. And then so like we just kept seeing the numbers everywhere.
See, that's really funny because like I hear a lot of Losties talk about this kind of thing, but like I have the exact opposite experience. I almost, unless I'm just really not looking for them, which is possible, but like I don't think because I would notice them being a huge Lostie, but I almost never get the numbers.
Do you look for combinations of the numbers?
Do you mean like the fact that, if I'm not mistaken, my number at Lost 2014 was 48, which is 4 and 8, two of the numbers, and I pointed that out and everyone was like, yeah, but it's not really the numbers.
It is so the numbers. Sorry, it's the numbers.
But I mean, like, okay, here I have a fortune, okay, from a fortune cookie recently, sitting here in front of me. Here are the numbers on the fortune cookie. The numbers are 29, 33, 35, 38, 8, I guess, 43, and 44. Nothing.
Okay.
Like, there's
Nothing.
nothing.
Well, you have to let it come. You can't expect it too hard.
I know, but I mean, like, that's the kind of thing that I get all the time.
Yeah, I don't know.
I get nothing. I'm like the
Sorry.
least losty in regards to that kind of stuff.
My bank account has a lot of the numbers in it, but I'm not going to tell you what it is.
Why not?
Because that
Jake
would be
almost left
crazy.
his thing for when we were talking about getting t-shirts.
My social security number has a lot of the numbers in it too.
I
Yeah.
couldn't even tell you what my social security number is.
It is 481 516. No, never mind.
No.
I'm just joking because it's lost numbers.
Yeah, no, I got that.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so numbers. We're finally going to get to have this discussion. Here we go. I have my notes.
Yeah.
I have start off with Hurley, Michael, and Jin are working on the raft.
No, that raft.
Jack approaches to check the progress, and Michael tells him about wanting, like, electronic stuff, to, get a passing ship or whatever. And Hurley suggests that Danielle Rousseau has batteries, and maybe her batteries could boost the power. And then we quickly go to Saeed. Like, it immediately cuts to him going, "No, absolutely not." Like, I don't know why. It makes me laugh every time.
Yeah. I don't know why he did that. Tell me
I,
why.
I don't know. It just makes me laugh because, like, he's just like, "Well, maybe Rousseau," but and then it just cuts to him going, "Absolutely not." Like,
Absolutely not.
yeah. And then Jack and Hurley try to convince him. They talk about the stolen papers that Saeed has, and he gets frustrated and shoves something in Hurley's face that Hurley begins to look at, while Saeed tells Jack about the area labeled Dark Territory.
Oh, I want that map. I need to like find a way to crumple up some paper and recreate it.
Well, I'm pretty sure you have hands. They can normally be used for the crumpling of paper.
That's the second time. I hope you poop yourself. Leave that in.
For those of you who don't know, Megan and I, of course, we banter a bit back and forth before these things start.
Banter was the
And
word I was thinking of.
I made a sarcastic comment to her before. So she called me out on it.
And I hope you poop yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
All
good time.
right. I got nothing to say. There's nothing to say to that.
This has nothing to do with Lost, other than, I don't know, they never really covered pooping on the island, did they? No, wait, Hurley had diarrhea at one point.
He did, and there's a baby.
Yeah, but babies are just like equivalent with poop. Where there are babies, there is understood poop. So that's it's different from an adult
Oh,
announcing, "I'm just eating fruit, man."
um, one of the characters in season 2, spoiler, even though we're not really doing that
Oh
anymore.
my God, but with season two, you're so ahead of yourself.
A character flushes a toilet.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So there we go.
I like that. That was a good one. Good
As
throwback.
uh, as our old man Frank Duckett might say, it'll come back around.
It will.
Okay, so anyway, for the first time, while Hurley is looking through the papers, we see the numbers all at once in a row. And Megan, please reiterate what the numbers are for all of us.
4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42.
Absolutely. Would you believe? And of course, I'm assuming it was sarcasm, right? But when we were on one of the tours, somebody wearing a Dharma jumpsuit. Perhaps that person is even listening, and if so, I'm calling you out, random person on the Lost
You.
thing. Sitting in the back of the bus, having to be the loudest and try to act the coolest because that's what you do if you're in the back of a bus. Says, going on and I don't remember exactly where the conversation, like how it happened or whatever, but was, putting something into a phone or a calculator or something and just yells, "Hey, wait a minute, guys." Not in this sarcastic tone that I'm using, but like it sounded very serious. But it was, "Hey, wait a minute, guys. What are the numbers again?"
Oh my
And
God.
everybody yells, 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, 42.
You know what? I
And,
bet that was not, I bet it was sarcastic. Or,
right,
or maybe like one of those, like, if you're going to camp on a bus and people start singing, maybe that's the Lossie equivalent.
maybe.
Just
But
chant
I looked at
numbers.
someone and I said something along the lines of, how are you wearing a jumpsuit, like a Dharma jumpsuit, and not like you don't know what the numbers are? And the person that I said, and I can't remember who it was, but the person that I said it to looked at me and said, "How are you here at this convention and you don't know what the numbers are?"
No, those are embedded into the brains of every Lostie. However, I have had moments where I've said the wrong one or forgotten a number. So, I mean, no one is infallible.
I'll
Sorry.
tell you, I am horrible with math. I am probably the absolute worst person when it comes to any form of math, which is odd because I like money a lot. But I am probably the worst when it comes to math. I'm in my mid 20s and I still count on my fingers.
Hmm.
Addition, subtraction, multiplication. I don't even try division because it's too difficult. And I'll be there standing in the middle of my work, counting on my fingers, numbers, figuring out, okay,
Hmm.
what times what equals what, and I will be doing multiplication things often, and I will, multiplications of 4, 4, 8, 15. No, that's not right. And I start listing through the numbers.
No, I just like how you said multiplication things. Sorry.
I'm terrible at math. What can I say?
It made me really happy. Um, Not that you're terrible at math. I am too. Actually, my friend Natalie had to reteach me how to do long division like 6 years, 7 years ago.
My thought is, I don't need math. All my teachers, when I was in school, they were like, "Oh," because I was like, "Oh, can I have a calculator?" And they're like, "You won't have a calculator out there in the real world. Guess what my phone has on it?"
Mm-hmm.
Uh huh. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I like that. Oh my gosh, I use mine all the time. And on my computer, my calculator app is like one of the things I keep in the dock at the bottom, like
Yeah.
easily accessible at the end, so I don't have to cry myself to sleep every night wondering where I went wrong.
Yeah.
Well, in that aspect, at least. Um,
Sorry.
oh, um,
That was so mean.
and I said it to myself, so I'm just horrible. Um, you're welcome.
Oh.
Yeah. So, numbers.
And we cut to a flashback of him watching TV and eating chicken. And then I wrote in my notes, "A man after my own heart."
Seriously. Oh my God, I want a big bucket of chicken.
Absolutely. And we see the woman reading the lotto numbers. And as we talked about, myself and Kevin in a previous episode, and he confirmed it because he, checked himself on his own notes and my notes and things like that in the comments of the YouTube video. See, go leave comments. The woman that is reading the lotto numbers is the woman in the Outlaws episode that Sawyer was trying to bed.
Oh.
In real life, her name is Brittany Perrineau, and she is the wife of Michael Perrineau, who plays Michael Dawson.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Did you know
My mind is blown. I don't even know. Oh my god.
And here's another one. Ready for this?
No.
The voice of the newscaster, co-head writer Carlton Hughes.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, he should be able to say some stuff.
Well, he has a fantastic speaking voice.
I don't remember it now. I'll have to go back and look.
And of course, Hurley wins the lotto with the magic numbers, and then he faints.
My favorite thing in that episode part, I guess that's scene. That's the word, scene. What does she say to him? I have it pulled up. Hold on. No, it doesn't say. His mom says something like, she just chastises him, and I just love her so much.
Oh, yeah, that character, she is so like the mom. Like even more than Rose is the mom of like the entire show. Like she is. Yeah. Because she says about finding a good woman, and I don't know if it's in this one or maybe it.
I have the quote right here. Can I recite it?
Okay, please go ahead.
Oh my god, I'm so excited. Okay. The only time you move is to lift a drumstick out of the bucket. Every day is the same thing, Hugo. Work, TV, chicken. You have to change your life, Hugo. You think someone else will do it for you? Maybe if you pray every day, Jesus Christ will come down from heaven, take 200 pounds, and bring you a decent woman and a new car. Yes, Jesus can bring you a new car. And then Hurley says, maybe I don't want to change. Maybe I like my life. And then she moves to the next room and says, oh, because the telephone rings and she says, oh, that must be Jesus. She leaves the room and answers the phone. Hola, momento. Shouting to Hurley, she says, it is Jesus. He wants to know what color car you want.
I don't see anything wrong with that kind of daily life. Go to work, come home, watch TV, eat chicken. That literally sounds like my life.
That's what I do every day.
Yeah. Maybe sometimes record a podcast. So I do change it up just a little bit more than Hurley, but
I really don't.
Voiceover newscaster man Carlton Hughes also comments on the fact that it is the 16th week without a winner. The numbers.
Oh my god.
They strike as they're striking. It's a double whammy.
Double super strike.
Saeed awakens to find Hurley creepily watching him sleep because he wants to know about the numbers.
I've done that to Mike before.
You guys are in a relationship, though.
Yeah, it still doesn't make it any less creepy.
I guess.
No, okay. Anyway.
I have that Hurley is not subtle because he's like, he says something about the maps and he goes, yeah, but what about these numbers? Like, what do you think they mean or whatever? Like, he immediately goes right for, what do you think about the numbers or whatever? And Saeed doesn't care to question his true motives because he's tired.
Tired.
Yeah. Which, I mean, after a long day of islanding, I'd be tired too.
I mean, honestly, I would probably prefer to do islanding over what I do now as my profession. I know that sounds crazy, but
well, let me put it in perspective. Okay, I would prefer your profession over my profession.
Okay, yeah. So let's trade up. Let's do this. I honestly, I've gotten into a hobby where it kind of seems like I'm the female John Locke. And
Oh, explain.
yeah, so for fun, Mike bought me a throwing star a few weeks ago, and I threw it. And the first time, like we were out behind our apartment building at the dumpster because there's like a big wooden thing that surrounds the dumpster. So we were like, well, that's big enough for me to hit. Okay. And so I throw the star, and first it goes, well, first of all, I said something really funny, like, I'm throwing this at my enemies. And then I throw it, but it is thrown straight between the wooden slats. So it
No
just,
way.
yes. And you can ask him. I went right between the wooden slats, and we both just looked at each other as it skidded across the ground. And we were like, what just happened?
What are the
What just happened
chances?
here? It was crazy. So the second throw was like dead on, and like it's something I really enjoy doing. So, um, in short, since then I've gotten some more throwing stars and some throwing knives to add to my already large collection of statties. And I'm pretty sure I am the female John Locke. So if they'll let me on the plane with a suitcase of knives, I really like throwing knives, and I blame John Locke. And I want to be the lady version of him and live on the
So
island.
Joan Locke, then?
I am Joan Locke.
Joan Locke. Okay.
Yeah, throwing stars and knives is like fun. And I made a target that kind of looks like the Dharma symbol.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So the numbers.
Uh,
Yeah.
Hurley in flashback answering questions about winning the lottery. We see his family, who, aside from his mother, we pretty much never see or hear from any of them again. I don't think his brother, he has a brother? I don't think his brother is ever mentioned, like, at all for the rest of the series. And I know somebody out there is going, getting ready to type on their keyboards, oh, Paul, he's mentioned in this episode at this particular second, and this is the timestamp. Go watch it, you non-informed losty.
You really love your fans.
I love my fans so much.
Maybe they do show up, like the brother and I think the sister-in-law.
I doubt it, seeing as what we find out about her in this episode.
Oh yeah, snacks. Okay.
But
Um,
even, you know what? Since the spoiler wall is down, even when our man Hurley and the others, not others, but the rest, not the rest, but uh,
please keep that in.
when when they make their triumphant return to first to our island, then the mainland, uh, they have a giant party, and I'm pretty sure the brother isn't even there. Unless he
Yeah.
is in the background, they don't really mention him.
I wonder where he went.
He's probably like Big Brother Chuck from Happy Days. Or little sister, what's her face from Family Matters?
That's
Judy?
true.
Was that her name? Judy?
I don't remember. I'm so bad at TV. You know that.
That's true. You're the wrong person to ask.
I am the worst person to ask ever.
Uh, Hurley comments how he wants to give his grandfather rest. And boy, does he.
Poor guy. Oh, yeah, and that's really where it started, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he mentions putting his family through a lot. But I believe that's before, obviously, before the winning the lottery, But yeah, pretty much that seems to be the first instance. Well, no, actually, I could be wrong because we do revisit the scene where he faints at another point.
Mm.
So there might have been something in there. I just can't remember off the top of my head. And once again, the YouTube people. Oh, Paul! I can't even do the voice for a whole monologue, but they're there going in this episode at this time stamp. Blah blah blah.
This episode at this time. See, I could never do that because I'm so
Be that much of a nerd?
no, not nerd. I just
No, because that's
see
true.
it
You and I are
differently.
both kind of nerdy as it is.
Yeah, we're both super nerds, so it's not that. It's more it's more like I don't know. It's like seeing the whole picture versus the not nitpicking, just seeing the whole picture versus the intricacies. Like I know these people also see the whole picture, but I'm more focused on the story and what they're doing and what they're feeling. That might be one
Right.
of those oh, what is that called? What is that test?
I have no idea what
The
you're talking about.
the 16 personality tests where you're like a bunch of letters. You don't know that. The Myers-Briggs test, that's what it's called.
No idea.
Okay. Well, if you don't know and you're listening, go look it up. But if you're listening and you know, that's what I'm talking about.
And if you're wrong, then the people are going to comment, "Oh, Megan,
Nope.
this is the actual name of the test."
Nope. I Googled that shit because you know what? I don't want people nitpicking me. I know the internet. I've been there.
Fair enough.
I know you jerks. No one is listening now because of me.
Well, you thought that at the beginning of the episode, so what do you really care now?
Yeah,
By the way, that would be Megan that called you jerks, not me, because I
I
love you, loyal listeners.
uh,
I need you. I need those clicks and those likes and all that stuff. Keep
I
coming back. Maybe Megan. Maybe this will be Megan's last time. No, it won't, Megan. I'm just saying
you know,
that.
it's so
Walking that line
it's
ever so
so funny.
slightly.
Oh my goodness.
Like a tightrope
Oh
walker, I am.
my goodness. Oh, snacks. Okay, so
And then Hurley mentions wanting to buy his mom a house, which of course is foreshadowing to later on in this same episode. Um, Back on the island, Charlie startles Hurley, who is not a good liar. I'm pretty sure by this point in the series we've established that. But when Charlie wants to join Hurley on his fake trip, he refuses him. I believe that's where he's just like, I kind of just want some alone time right now. Which, I mean, we've all been there, but bad on Hurley for lying.
yeah.
And to Charlie, and I mean, you don't feel this way because heaven forbid anybody else but myself and Kevin feel sympathy towards Charlie. But, Charlie's going through a lot too. He doesn't need to be like by Hurley nonetheless. He doesn't need attitude like that.
Yeah.
Silence from Megan because
No,
she doesn't care.
no, I do. I just don't like Charlie.
Mm.
But I also like Hurley. I really found his switch in this episode interesting because he was so happy-go-lucky before and just a really personable dude and everybody could go to him and then suddenly it's just you
Well,
realize that
to
he
quote him at the
freaked
towards
out,
the end of the
man.
episode, he just wants some friggin' answers. I can't do the voice, but
Yeah, he just wanted some friggin' answers.
yeah. See, I can never just do something like that. I can never just like say something. Like I always feel like I have to put on a voice and put on a show for people. I can't just be like, he just wants some friggin' answers. Like I can't see, even then I just did a voice. Like I did like myself doing a voice, not doing a voice. Like what is that? I don't know. Locke wants Claire to help with the project.
Yeah, so I was worried at the beginning of that project, and then I assumed it was just to distract her, but at the same time, I'm like, what is he cooking up now? What is John Locke doing with Claire? Is he associated with these people that have stolen her?
Oh. I mean, at this point, we don't know like too much negative about him, but I was a little curious too. I didn't go so far as some people seem to think. Not fans necessarily, but some people, Charlie, seem to think later on in the series where all of a sudden like thinking Locke and Claire are a romantical item, but I definitely thought something strange was up. But I agree with you. I definitely, at that point, like first time viewing, I thought it was, you know, he just wants to distract her. He knows. I mean, he's not a young man anymore. He's been around the block. He knows, I would assume he knows a thing or two about people and perhaps pregnant people of the female persuasion. And and maybe he knows that sometimes they need to be a little distracted, especially when you can't do anything but island all day, you know?
You have no idea. That is ideal, man. I wish I was on that plane.
Yes, except for the fact that you're not any one of those characters, so you would have been like easily,
Dead.
Um,
Done.
yeah. But
Unless I were Joan Locke, and then John Locke and Joan Locke would have had a battle.
would you have been husband and wife, siblings? Because what are the chances you both have the same last name?
No, no, no. See, I'm thinking J.J. Abrams on this. So, like, I'm actually Bizarro John Locke, where I'm just a female version of him, but in some weird, um,
Okay, like he's bald, right? And then when we see him in flashbacks, he has like goofy, stupid looking hair that's brown. So, and he's a little bit taller. So you're like short, glasses, blonde, long hair, female, the
but
Bizarro Lock.
but still good at knives.
Oh, see, then that wouldn't exactly
Yeah,
be the.
not quite Bizarro, but maybe
No,
like, ooh, what about like long lost illegitimate daughter?
I guess.
He
Long
sounds so.
lost illegitimate daughter.
Oh, he
Yet again,
sounded so
another
angry
spin-off
about
that
the
I
show.
want to see.
Well, yeah, I'm okay with that. I just want
Kate
to
in college is one,
be.
which I got not in trouble for, but I did get a little bit of a chastising.
Oh, you got in trouble.
Um, I want to see that's not, and it could be Locke lost daughter instead of long lost daughter. Locke's lost daughter is the other spin-off. Joan Locke is her name.
Someday it will happen for me.
Yeah. Joan Locke starring Meghan Arnold.
So, what?
Coming soon to the ABC app.
Oh God.
Because it's not good enough for TV.
No,
Sorry.
honestly, I think it's like, yeah, you can stream it, I guess. It's not even straight to DVD. It's just like it's in the app, maybe
Yeah.
this week only. Um, so anyway, back to Lost. I'm sorry, I keep
Uh,
diverting you.
Next note is Saeed approaches Jack, confronting him about the stolen map and accuses him of having Hurley do his dirty work. Because he's just like, and what's even worse is you have Hurley do it.
Sweet Hurley, who never hurt a soul.
But of course, Jack has no idea what he's talking about. And he even says, he's like, you have no idea what I'm talking about, do you? And then they decide to go after him. And Shannon is worried about Saeed. And I wrote, could this be because the last time someone went on a journey into the jungle, Boone with Locke to find Claire, he didn't come back immediately?
Right.
What
Well,
do you think, if I may ask? I've heard one or two people that I've had on the show. What do you think about the Saeed and Shannon relationship?
I'm totally okay with it.
Are you really?
I'm so okay with it. I'm not crying, but I want to.
As Hurley is walking down the beach, we hear a rap song. I want to know who does this rap song and what it is. We are 10 years removed, more than 10 years removed from this episode, and even to this day, Lostpedia has no answers. What is this rap song, Internet? I need to know. All you
So,
smart people from earlier telling me timestamps of this episode, where Hurley's brother comes back, tell me what this rap song is.
I have
Be
a
be
question.
be real smart about it. I want to know.
Does the rap song have words?
Yes,
Have you ever written down the words and Googled them?
I have.
Oh,
Like I
okay.
said, even Lostpedia, as has been talked about. Don't remember if I actually left them in episodes or not, but I know that I've talked about them with certain people. Lostpedia has answers that even the officially released Lost Encyclopedia doesn't have. It is
Hmm.
pretty much the foremost knowledge on everything and anything Lost, and even that doesn't have the answer to what this rap song is or who does it.
So, can you sidle up to your TV with your phone and then ask your phone who does the song and let it listen?
Uh, Normally I would be able to because I have Siri, fancy
Mhm.
iPhone person, but my screen cracked a while back, and when I had my friend fix it, it appears that the Siri part on the microphone doesn't work so well anymore.
Oh,
If
okay.
I
Well,
updated my MacBook, perhaps I could, because that has, I guess the new OS has Siri, but I don't know.
so what about I do that later? I need to do that because of my phone works, homie.
Fair enough. But I'm telling you, even Lostpedia doesn't have answers. I want to know who does this rap song. And of course, as we know, the rap song transitions from him walking down the beach to him driving in his Hummer. And he explains, because he's taking his mother to the new house, he explains all the bad things and says that they're cursed. And she slaps him good. Because she says, we're Catholic. You know very well we don't believe in curses. Uh, and then he pulls up and he says, here, put this blindfold on. And I'm pretty sure like, I don't know if it's ever stated, but they're in LA, right? Like somewhere in California?
Yeah.
Yeah. Every time I watch this, all I think is, he better watch what neighborhood he takes that red bandana to.
That's true. Yeah.
And then the misfortune continues because, she cracks her ankle.
Ow. Oh, that part always makes me cringe so bad.
Does it
Like, oh,
really?
no, like anytime anything like that happens to anybody, I almost throw up.
So
It is,
then,
oh,
a few
oh,
episodes from now, I wonder how you deal with the collapsed lung.
dude.
That was a total Hurley, dude.
And it's so perfect because he's the same way. So, yeah. So, I I have had many instances in my life where I've had to perform first aid on people, but after the adrenaline is gone, I'm not worth anything.
And then also, not only does she crack her ankle, but look, black smoke is wafting from the. And I guess I really did write wafting. It's wafting from the upstairs window.
So, do you think that the black smoke was much like the black smoke in on the island? Were they trying to mirror that smoke, or was it just oh, this house is on fire?
I think it was just this house is on fire.
Cool.
But it does bring up an interesting point, especially because, like, we learn later that that can't really happen, what you're suggesting.
True.
However, And here's where casual people are going to be like, what are they talking about? But
What?
the hardcore people, the diehards, are going to know. Maybe it's been answered. I don't know. Maybe I'll have to check Lostpedia because they have all the answers but one. Uh, they are they are that missing knife. That rap question is the missing knife.
Is
Yeah, like
it?
Locke's 499 knives because he gave one to Saeed. Because he had 500, then he had 499. They have all of the answers but one. How for the longest time we were supposed to assume that in the forwards when Jack hears the smoke detector going off
Yeah.
and sees his father, we were supposed to think that that was MIB, not Will Smith.
Men in Black.
Yes, like
Not
mysteriously.
multiple ones, just the one.
Yeah. Mysteriously sending messages. What's up with
Hmm.
that?
I don't know.
Here
Oh
you
man.
go, people who can't answer the rap question.
I
Redeem
thought I think
yourselves.
the others did the fires though.
No, I'm talking in when they're off the island.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, my brain farted.
No response to that.
Okay. I got yelled at in Spanish class once for saying that, by the way.
Does it sound? Is it dirty in Spanish?
No, but it's the South.
What does that mean?
Sometimes people have weird conceptions of what cursing is.
Oh,
Yeah.
what was the one that we could? Stupid sucks. Like when you're real young, they're like, "Oh, don't say that. That's a bad word."
Yeah. It's not.
No.
I
Hurley finds the wire and never suspects why it leads into the ocean. He decides to go into the jungle. Thought that was, and of course it's very much foreshadowing. Thought that was
mhm.
a little strange though, because like he never even like he looks, but like never like even doesn't even do like a tilt of the head. Um, and in typical Hurley fashion, he looks at the jungle and yells, "Yo, French chick," which is probably the most Hurley thing that's ever happened.
I mean, there are very many things that are Hurley that happen, but that's probably top five. There are
Uh,
many dudes that happen. I think
yeah,
his big, like the most that I heard people yell at him at Lost 2014 was "dude,"
yeah.
which that's another thing that makes my body hurt. Just thinking about like, ugh, why would you do that? Stop. Okay, everyone hates me now. Go on.
In the flashback, we find out that Hurley owns a box company in Tustin, California.
Dun dun dun.
But in his shoe factory, 8 people died.
Yeah.
8, one of the numbers.
John Locke really dodged a bullet there, man.
When his accountant asks about the numbers, that is when Hurley realizes that it might be the numbers that are cursed. And as he's being told how ridiculous that sounds, a man is falling, presumably to his death, behind them out the window. And of course, it's a clearly proven false fan theory, but it was once suggested that perhaps that man was John Locke. I don't know what that sound was supposed to be, but okay.
my I just love how everything is connected. It is both my suspense slash satisfaction and the connectedness of the Lost diverse.
Yes, but obviously we found out that that was not true. Um, Back on the island, while both Michael and Walt are building the raft, the noise, whilst Sawyer is reading, is bothering him. Once again, foreshadowing. Uh, I have Jin and Michael arguing is now funny. Because, of course, it used to be, like, rather uncomfortable, but now when we see it, it's very much like an old married couple.
I do love their perceived married couple banter.
Yes.
They're so precious. And they totally get each other too. Like,
For having such a language barrier, yeah, like they
yeah,
really do.
it's funny.
Sun, of course, is watching them, and she says that she wants her husband back. She tells that to Kate. Um, in the jungle, Hurley sees a caught boar that clearly wasn't cut down. And then he starts to trigger a trap. And I have, but luckily this is TV, and our other heroes are right there to talk him out of it.
But I don't know. I see that's where sometimes the lost hive mind bothers me, where there's a group of people that thinks they know what's best for an individual.
That's kind of my whole thing rewatching it this time, and I believe we talked about it at one point. I don't think it was on this show. I think it was on Paul and All, available on the Clock Shelves YouTube channel.
Available now.
Yeah. I believe we talked about it where I said this particular rewatch, I'm not a fan of John Locke for that reason. Because he seems, I'm really, like, I've noticed it before, but I'm really noticing it this time where, like, he needs everyone to be on his page when they're not ready for it yet.
I totally agree.
But with Hurley, another fat joke is made. Shame. Shame, shame. I know your name. And then he jumps out of the way. Because he says, he's like, I'm spry. And he jumps out of the way. And he's really upset that they followed him.
Yeah. I love how he totally just proved everybody wrong there. Like, of course I can get out of this. And of course this isn't an actual problem. And I can handle this. I could have handled this all on my own anyway. And why did you follow me? And just go back to the camp. Let's go.
Hurley needs to prove that he is capable of being a leader. And he can't do that if they don't let him try.
Yeah.
In a flashback, Hurley is at the mental institution. He's upset and wants to see someone, but a man is being very unsafe in his light bulb replacement skills. At my job, I am the safety champion, so I know how unsafe that is.
I want to get you a shirt that says safety champion.
I actually have, I think we talked about it once before. My mother and I made me a cardboard championship belt. Like in boxing or wrestling or things like that.
Ooh. But does it say safety champion?
Of course it does.
Oh, cool.
Anyway. And then another doctor recognizes Hurley and lets him see Leonard. And he actually says, he's like, I don't remember you and Leonard being that close. But he's like, yeah, you know what? I'll let you see him pretty much. I also remember that at one point there was a crazy fan theory that Leonard was really Radzinski.
Oh, wow.
But no.
Yeah.
Well, it would make sense. They do look similar enough. He's always shouting the crazy numbers.
Yeah.
There's some weight there, but no. And then Hurley tries to get answers as Lenny just chants the numbers all the livelong day. Hurley says he played the lotto with the numbers. That's what finally snaps Leonard out of his chant, only to throw him into a fit about how the numbers are bad.
Well, I don't know. If that's why he's there, you know, he'd probably want to say them all the time.
I guess.
Call me crazy.
But Hurley gets a name, Sam Toomey. And conveniently, he'll go to Australia.
Yeah, it's
because that happens with all the characters in the first season.
Yeah.
Well, I thought some of the times I thought it seemed a little too forced. You know, like in the White Rabbit episode, Jack's mom is like, "Oh, you need to go after your father." And, he's out on a drinking binge and whatever. And then he's like, "Well, where is he?" And she's just like, "Australia." Like, they couldn't have come up with anything. Like, who goes, even if it's California, Australia, like, they're not, I guess they're far apart, but they're not really that far apart. But who decides, like, I lost my job. I'm going to go on a drinking binge to Australia. Like, that would be like
Yeah.
me saying, man, I'm real depressed right now. Not sure if I can continue with life. I just want to, get drunk or whatever. I'm just going to go to California and booze up. It makes no sense. Just, there's bars like every 10 steps from my house. Just go there. I don't know.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
I like how they explained why everybody went, but I see where it could be forced.
I
But
mean, it makes it in terms of their stories, it makes sense. It all seemed a little too forced for me.
yeah.
Back on the island, our heroes find a rickety little bridge. And Hurley defies Jack by going across it, because Jack the entire time is like, "Hurley, no, get back here." And once again, Hurley needs to prove, like, dude, because it's Hurley, dude, I can do things. Like, pretty much that's, you know? And then Charlie, once again, fat shames Hurley by saying if he can do it.
Yeah, that was kind of screwed up.
Then, once Charlie finally makes it to the other side and destroys the bridge, Jack tells them to stay. Hurley doesn't want to, but Charlie yells at him and calls him a lunatic. Little mean. Little mean.
Well, yeah. Emotions run high on Lost.
Yeah, I guess. In the middle of nowhere, Australia, Hurley is at a house, Sam Toomey's house. And then he finds out he's been dead for 4 years. Once again, the numbers strike. I don't remember if they actually gave her a name, so I literally just wrote "The Widow Toomey asks about Lenny," and Hurley hesitantly replies, "He's retired."
Yeah.
And then she immediately knows why Hurley is there, because she's just like, "You're asking about the I can't do the
I
voice.
love that part.
But she's like, "You're asking about the numbers." And then she kind of tells the story, how Lenny and Sam were in the Pacific listening to static. One night, 16 years ago, numbers, there was something there, the numbers. She tells them, she tells some stories and shows how her leg is missing and, a few other things. But here's my question for you. Do we think, knowing what we know, and since the spoiler barrier is down, do we think that they heard Hurley's voice reading the numbers?
I don't know. It's a very good question. I'd have to, I don't know.
Well, the reason I say that is because, like, when they arrive there, when Danielle and her team and Jin arrive there and they're listening to the transmission on the thing, it sounds like, because it's just the numbers repeating over and over and over again, and it sounds like Hurley's voice or Jorge Garcia's voice reading the numbers, and we never get, like, a reason as to if it is him, why it's him, whatever. And, like, he was briefly part of the Dharma Initiative, so, like, that could explain it, but they never really give, like, a thing of, like, he was, he recorded the numbers on the thing. Because if that's the case, then it makes it even weirder, because then, like, Lenny would have heard Hurley's voice reading the numbers, and then, like, several decades later, he also heard Hurley's voice in the institution.
Man. They never showed that in the flashbacks, did they?
Him recording the voice or anything?
Right.
No.
Oh, that's gonna really bother me. Why didn't they tie that up neatly? Why? Why?
Well, I know at one point, people were also thinking that maybe when, like, in the season 3 finale with that thing with Charlie where, he's, he has to use his musical abilities. You know what I'm talking about? I'm trying to be a
Yeah.
little vague with it, but he has to use his musical abilities, and they say that whoever programmed this thing was a musician. And I remember reading a theory that people also thought that maybe that would have been Hurley as well in the 1970s time when he was with Dharma, but that was never explained either.
Man, oh, that's gonna bother me so bad. Thank
Sorry.
you for ruining everything.
That's what this show, Lost with Friends, seems to be. Is like all of these little things that like get
No.
pointed out by me, mostly me, but other people, and then like when people are listening, or even the guest is always like, "You ruined it for me now."
No, it's not actually ruined. Um, I just like between you and Mike, if it weren't for you guys, I would just totally take everything at face value and be like, "Oh, okay." And not really question much. I'm like the perfect type B person to have in your cult.
Oh, okay. Well, luckily I already have the beard and all of that going, so if I ever
Oh.
decide Mike and I will start like a bearded cult, and obviously you'll be our first follower. So
It struck me as so crazy because he grew out his beard for Hawaii last time, and it was so hot, and I thought he was dying. But I asked him again if he was going to do it, and he was like, "I don't know." So maybe you guys can have a beard off in
that'd be
October.
ooh. Um, Back on the island, we see Locke working on his secret project with Claire, and she's asking him what what the stuff is that's in his little like bowl or whatever, and he says it's glue, and she says he made glue. And I will not lie, I often in my really bad attempt at an Australian accent, I often just say that line when I'm just like randomly walking around. I'll be like, "You made glue," and like I know that sounded terrible, but like
No, it was good.
but like I will just, because I don't know why, like just something with the way that like her voice said that line, and I'll just say that line often. I'll be like, "You may," like no, it has nothing to do with anything. I'll be at work doing my thing, and I'll just in my mind I'll just be like, "You made glue," and I don't so yeah. And she thanks him for taking her mind off of things, and she once again says that she doesn't remember anything, which in a previous episode of this show, it was talked about with myself and Kevin and Esteban that her forgetting everything, it's like it's dropped only until they need it for like a story purpose, whereas other things, like sometimes they'll still reference things or whatever. It's like only when they need her to actually talk about it do they remember, oh yeah, she has amnesia. It's like amnesia about the amnesia. It's weird.
It is weird.
uh then we see Saeed and Jack trekking through the jungle, and Jack sets off an explosive, and it was Danielle's home because she set it to blow. Which I believe they reference it later when, they say about how it makes sense because, Saeed could have possibly tracked her back and whatever. Um, when Charlie and Hurley are just walking through the jungle, Charlie says the line, happy-go-lucky, good time Hurley, which is one of my favorite Charlie lines ever. And whenever Hurley actually looks like he's going to stand up for himself, because he kind of like gets in Charlie's face, and like Charlie gets really afraid. Like every time like they're walking and like Hurley will turn around and he'll be like, "You know what?" or whatever, like Charlie like kind of flinches. And I think that says
I
a
love
lot
that.
about him. Yeah, I think that says a lot about him because like he's a big talker, but when something actually might happen, he's just a little wimp.
Yeah. Well, and I really loved Hurley in this episode for that too, because you see a whole different side of him where he can not just be in the background chilling.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. And Charlie says he has a right to know Hurley's baggage. Because, Hurley's like, I have my own stuff. And Charlie's like, well, I think I have a right to know. And then Hurley
Why?
tells him, yeah, Hurley tells him, like, I don't understand why. Like, you don't have a right to know. It makes no sense.
No,
Um,
ugh, Charlie.
and then shots are fired at them. And they start running, and then Hurley trips because almost every time anybody runs, unless it's like Jack or Locke, somebody trips. Like all
There
the
are so
time.
many routes. Like just tracing through the different filming locations. I don't know if those were scripted trips or not, but maybe they weren't and they included them because let me tell you, I tripped quite a bit. A lot.
You're not that coordinated though, so.
No, I'm not. On a scale of Hurley to Jack in coordination, I'm a Hurley. So,
Tagline of the
yeah,
episode: Meghan says, "I'm a Hurley."
I'm a Hurley. I'm gonna make that t-shirt. We need a whole line of t-shirts.
There you go, folks. Second T-shirt. Um, and Danielle has she has Hurley. She has the gun on him. And she's not trusting him. And he says something about Saeed at that point where he's just like, so like just trying to like get into her good graces. He's like, Saeed, like that guy. We both know him. We're good, right? uh, and then he asks her about the numbers, and she reveals that she doesn't know the meaning. And then he says the line when he holds up the paper, and he's just like, I want some friggin' answers. Um,
This
and then
There are so many points in this episode that I cheer for Hurley
oh yeah,
because he's
like this, yeah, this is his time to
ah
like. I don't want to necessarily say be the hero because like it's not even like an episode where like you need a hero, but he just gets to have so many moments where he's like, I'm not just a background person. Like I'm here, my story matters. It only took more than
mhm.
half the season to get to it. Some people got, multiple flashbacks before I even got one, but I am here, guys. Dude,
But
as
he's
he
got
would
one
say.
of the yeah, dude. He's got one of the most interesting stories though.
Well,
Like,
yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
okay, Kate's got an interesting one. Jack is just like, I was a doctor and my daddy issues, but Hurley's like leading several double lives.
yeah, I mean,
So,
him and Sawyer, I think, have like two of the most interesting in terms of those initial survivors. They have two of the most interesting
yeah.
backstories.
I
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
mean,
We all know your feelings, and I mean a little bit my feelings on Sawyer. So, um,
oh, yes. So, um, but Hurley, he doesn't have just the one life that people don't know. Like, oh, he's a lottery winner. No, he's got that whole other side where he was in the loony bin.
yeah, and he has like I mean, we find it out later. Like he has a bit of a mysticism or a specialness to him, much like Locke, Walt, and some of those other characters.
True.
Um, Danielle reveals that her team heard the same transmission of the numbers that we referenced earlier, and they searched for it and the meaning, but they came up with nothing. She mentions how she changed the transmission once her team died, but still never found out their meaning. He calls them cursed, and she says they brought her there and now him. So she says that she lost everything and acknowledges that perhaps they are cursed. Even though he didn't get his answer, he's more happy that someone finally agrees with him and believes him because after all of this time, he finally feels vindicated. From that very first time with his mother, like, oh, we don't believe in curses, and all the bad stuff that's happened to him, now finally somebody else is like, yeah, I think they're cursed too, and he's like, yes, finally! I think that was more important to him than actually getting answers.
Honestly, I feel like the vindication would have happened when he met that woman. Her
Yeah,
husband died.
Sam Toomey's wife, yeah.
Yeah,
But
I
she
feel
says,
like
but she said to him earlier that her husband was, she says, like, he's, you're just crazy like he was. She said, they're just numbers, you know?
No, I feel like if there's more than one person out there that agrees, well, even then, like the guy in the loony bin, I know
Who
that's
would,
not a perfectly PC way, so in the mental hospital, the institution.
yeah.
Uh, I feel like with those two guys together, why would you need any more validation? Like, the numbers are bad from there.
Well, to be fair, Hurley was in the mental institution. So the other guy who was in the mental institution, maybe not the best, you know,
Yeah,
yard
primary
measuring
source.
stick. Um, and a guy whose wife thought he was crazy, who, committed suicide. Again, maybe not the best, person to use as your basis of, I'm not crazy, I
I'm
mean,
not
now, to be
crazy.
fair, crazy, living in the jungle French chick Rousseau, also not necessarily the definition of sanity to use your basis on. But in this moment, I think because he knows a little bit about her story now, however crazy she may be, I think he can still be like, okay, like you said, it was two people rather, not the best judges, or the best uses to be, you know, how do I try it? The best ways to determine. Um,
Hmm.
and now a third one who's maybe just as crazy, but still in the same situation as him. Maybe now it's like, well, okay, maybe there actually is something to this. So, I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, the more people piling up in your, you know,
On your side,
that
yeah.
piling up in your bag of people, because everyone has a bag of people. Um, I feel like that's better. Yeah.
That everyone has a bag of people. Um,
It's true.
Fair enough. Charlie approaches Jack, and Jack questions where Hurley is. And as they're all about to go save Hurley, he just comes up all nonchalantly, where he's just like, hey guys, and he shows the battery and looks at Saeed. And I just love how he just kind of like, he's just acting like nothing happened. They, last Charlie saw him, they were getting shot at, all this stuff. There was, an explosion. And then he just comes up with talking to these guys who, of course, are all freaked out because two of them are the leaders. And they're like, oh no, one of our people may have died and whatever. And he just comes up and he's just like, here you go, battery. And then he just looks at Saeed and he's just like, she says, hey. And I'm just like,
Hey.
yeah. I just love that moment. Like we said earlier, like it just gives Hurley so many chances to be like, I'm important, you know?
Yeah. I
Um,
really enjoyed the she says hey.
yeah. And
It's just so good.
and Jack chuckles too, so I like that he thinks it was a little funny as well. Even if it was more like a worried funny, like he at least was just like, yeah, it's funny. Um, Back at the camp, Saeed gives Michael the battery. Um, and then in the jungle, Locke and Claire are still working on their project, and she says that she doesn't have a name for the baby. And she tells Locke that she was going to give the baby away and how that day is her birthday. And he says he thinks that's great because hers and the baby's birthdays will be close together, and that's good luck. And when asked if he believes in luck, he says he just like in one of those like creepy Locke ways, he's like, I believe in a lot of things. Like, just say what you mean for once, dude. Like, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's just building the backstory of vagueness for Locke.
Yeah.
Like
It just, I mean, after so many points,
he's
though, it
probably
just
got a
bugs me.
literal bag of people. I
Um,
understand why that would bother you.
yeah. And I mean, again, it's from that outsider's perspective of we see him being vague with everybody. Like Claire,
Yeah.
he's not really vague with Claire that often, so she's just like, okay, that was like weird. But we've seen him do that with almost every single person, so it just seems strange. Um, and then finally he reveals that they spent the day building a cradle for the baby, and she gets so happy because someone finally did something for her. One, someone that wasn't Charlie,
Yay.
and two, it's something for the baby, which was very nice. Very, very nice Locke moment there. Like, and it's very unfortunate what happens within the next episode or two after this. But it's nice that we got to see him have a nice moment here and now.
John Locke is my number one contender for Island Grandpa. He's
Which
got
is
a bag
weird.
of people. Now he's Island Grandpa.
Which is weird because, like, later on, like when Claire and Charlie are on the outs a little bit, and Locke kind of starts being like almost in like a fatherly, grandfatherly way. Like he's like, well, I guess I'll take care of Claire for a little bit and whatever. And Charlie seems to think that like there's a little something romantic going on between those two. And I remember watching it and I'm just like, why? Like, I'm not saying like, I mean, Locke got Katie Sagal, so like he's good. Like, you know what I mean? he gets the goods, obviously. But like Locke and Claire? What was Charlie thinking?
He's just an insecure, sad, sad man.
Well, in that case, I can relate. Charlie. For those who don't know, at the moment, Megan and I are video chatting this little bit, and she just threw her head back and rolled her eyes. That's why there was that bit of silence with me just laughing.
Yeah. The rolling of the eyes was so forceful that my head actually got whiplash and went backward from the force. Okay.
Charlie comes to make peace with Hurley, and he still wants to know something about Hurley. And Hurley says that the plane crash may have been his fault, but Charlie assures him, based on his own life, that bad things happen to everyone. Hurley then decides to tell his biggest secret back to Charlie, but Charlie doesn't believe him. And again, another line that I'll often randomly say is when Charlie says, I bare my soul and all I get is bloody jokes. And sometimes I'll say that one for no reason at all as well.
Well, I mean, that could have has more relevance than glue. In my
That's
opinion.
true. That's true. I also love in that little thing
My
where
glue.
where
Mine just sounds like a hick. I made glue.
And then we get a shot of the hatch that Locke and Boone have been working on, and the music builds up, the mysterious music, and it has the numbers on the side of it. So, of course, we're just supposed to go, what? And then that's how the episode ends. So, yeah, that was the episode numbers.
Oh man, that's one of those endings that gets you too.
Yeah.
Because like, it's one of those episodes that makes me really thankful that I watched them, like I binge watched them instead of watching them once a week. Oh my gosh.
As someone who also binged watched a little bit of it, yeah, I agree. But I would think that on the opposite side, it would definitely have it where, you get that thing of like, I want to know what happened. And it takes a little bit of the anticipation away. And a show like this is perfect for anticipation.
Yeah, that's true. But oh man, no, I'm not that kind of person. I want all of the episodes now. That's why I enjoy Hulu these days.
Yeah. So I think that's gonna wrap us up. Was there anything else you wanted to talk about with this episode? The episode that you requested, one of the first episodes that got thrown around of, I want this one so late in the season. And I'm like, how about we do an early one too?
Yeah, I think we covered everything. I just want to reiterate that I love Hurley and that I really loved him in this episode.
Everybody loves Hugo.
They do.
But that's not this episode. That's a later episode. Anywhere, tell us your website one more time where they can follow you.
Oh yeah, I have a website. It's adventuresinverdance.com. My cat has an Instagram. It's the_gypsy_cat_. And that's it for that because I am an online hermit now and it's so nice. Maybe I'll start recommending books at this part because I've taken all that time and translated it into reading books, and it's so nice. Get
You're
off the
such a
internet, read a
nerd.
book.
No,
Read a
don't
book.
get off the internet. We need them on the internet to listen to the show.
Okay. Listen to the show, but then read a book. Listen to
There
the
you
show
go.
while you're vacuuming your house, and then read a book.
Yeah, you're nice, clean. Your house is nice and clean. Light a fire, only if you have a fireplace, and then sit down with a nice book.
Yeah.
What are you reading these
But
days?
also the show. I'm kind of ashamed because I always made fun of people that dove into the romance section. But I found this kind of sci-fi series that's in the romance section that I'm so into right now. And I'll leave it at that because I'm super ashamed because it's like if books were food, then these are the shame brownies that you made on a Thursday night and ate like half of it.
Okay. No,
It's not
okay.
carrots, it's shame brownies.
Fair enough. So thank you, Megan, for being on the episode. I know that you're a little bit busy with things going on, so we're not quite sure when we're going to have you the next time. But of course, we're looking forward to it. Do you have anything else you want to say to everybody?
You can start a Facebook group for the Megan Anti-Fan Club and make sure to invite me.
Invite me too. I'd be interested to hear thoughts on Megan.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you.
Thank you. And I will, of course, end with the traditional thank you, namaste, and good luck.
Bye, guys.
Hey, everybody, it's Paul, your host for most of the shows on the goes. Okay, that was terrible. But hopefully that episode you just listened to wasn't. So if you enjoyed it, how about you click that little like button, maybe give us a subscribe, and share it to your friends. Thanks.